One of the things that I want to just point out to anybody who's trying to look better through weight loss, because if you have a certain size you want to be in mind, as long as it's, healthy and you're going for a certain look, then that's all good. But one of the things that I've become more aware of as I've started to lose weight through this process, and I'm only down about 15 pounds, so it's not like I've lost a ridiculous amount of weight, but it's enough to see some small differences in like certain areas of your body. A lot of it has to do not just with your weight, but sort of how you carry yourself, certainly how you dress. And I don't necessarily know if I have enough time to get into how you dress and how it affects the size of your body or the appearance of the size of your body in this video, but it's a huge impact. But that being said, a lot of it has to do with how you carry yourself, how you stand, and your posture. I have a really bad tendency of two sort of, I don't know if they're negative or just they're not beneficial to the goal that I'm going for, but I have two sort of habits when it comes to my posture, one with my lower back and my hips, and one with my neck. So when I'm relaxing, pretty much all of the time, I tend to sort of so right now I'm sitting up nice and tall, and you might be able to see my neck looks a bit longer. I have a bit more of a jawline here. I tend to really relax my shoulders and sink my neck into my shoulders when I'm relaxing. And then on top of that, another really subtle thing that, and I don't even know if these are worth correcting, but they do make a noticeable difference if you're looking in the mirror and thinking, why do I look like frumpy? This could be it. So relaxing the neck into your shoulders, right? I'm not trying to turtle myself here. This is just if I really focus on having a nice, long, straight spine and, keep my neck sort of straightened out, you can see I have more of a neck. I have a neck. And I have a jaw to some extent. I've never had a super strong jaw, but we'll see after this. Maybe I'll buy one of those Jazzercise things. But if you just relax and your neck kind of collapses into your shoulders, it fattens out a bit and you lose that jawline, and now you just have pudge on the side of your jaw. On top of that, when I'm relaxing and I'm not necessarily doing anything, not completely zoning out, but just if I'm not speaking, I have a tendency to relax my jaw, which allows my teeth to separate. So my lower jaw is kind of hanging about an inch away from my upper jaw. And so, again, I'll try to do this, and I'm not trying to be super critical about whether or not this matters. I'm just saying if you're trying to say, for example, lose weight so you have a more defined face because you don't like the way your face looks, it could be this. So I'm just going to open and close my jaw as well as push my lower jaw slightly forward, right? So this is just my jaw as it would normally be if I were just relaxing, right? And then if I close my mouth, close my teeth, you'll notice a slight difference, or you should. So you can see it creates a little bit of a softer tension of the skin and muscle around the jaw. And so it looks like you have less of a jawline, a softer jaw. Also, if you then push your teeth slightly forward, and I don't know if this, again, is a thing that you should even care about, but it does create an effect. Say you're taking a photo, for example, and you want to look like you have a strong jaw in the photo, right? This is a thing that matters. So I'm going to close my teeth, like I just showed, and then I'm going to push my lower jaw slightly forward, almost so that your lower teeth have an underbite over your upper teeth, right? So put your lower teeth in front of your upper teeth. I'm gonna do it in those 3 steps: loose, closed, forward, right? And you should see a slight difference every time I do something. And it's very subtle. If you're facing a camera, it's almost unnoticeable. So I'll close my teeth again and push my jaw forward. You can see that the jaw protrudes just a tiny bit more when your teeth are forward. And from the forward perspective, if you don't exaggerate it too much, it's really not noticeable in any other way other than it looks like you have a slightly stronger jawline. So that's a thing, that matters. If you're looking in the mirror and you're wondering, why does my face still look doughy? Are you sitting up nice and tall? Is your back nice and straight? Are you slouching your neck down, or do you have your head level, right? I'm 6'2", 6'1.5", 6'2". Most of the people I'm looking at are below me. So, and most of the stuff I'm looking at, tabletops, computer desks, display cases when I'm at a restaurant or picking up food or something like that, most of what I'm looking at in the world is below me. So I've developed a habit of always having my head slightly cantered down so I can look at the world in front of me, the ground and people and other things. If I were to just look straight at a level 6'1" level forward, I would have a much better looking neck and jawline because I'm not always slightly angling and folding my neck together. That's just a thing I've developed. And also, we're looking at our phones, so we're always looking down. Nobody walks around with their phone at their eye level like this. one, you'd look crazy, but two, you'd almost certainly walk into something or fall into something immediately. And so that downward like negative neck angle, as well as just like sinking our neck into our shoulders, creates a fatter neck and less of a jawline. If you don't care about those things, obviously they're not necessarily like signifiers of good health. You could take a person who is very, very lean and have them do those same movements, and they could probably give themselves like a roll under their neck. So it's not in any way a signifier that you're unhealthy if you do that, although good posture is a good thing to have. And I've heard that it increases like proper circulation and can help with like brain function and to some small degree, stuff like that. But having good posture is a good thing. That aside, whether or not your neck and chin have the shape that you prefer really doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you have a healthy body or a healthy lifestyle. The other thing, and I can't really show this on camera, / I don't really want to do this on camera, but feel free to look up a video that has to do with your hip tilt. If you're a guy like me and you're standing in front of the mirror sideways so you can see your belly and you're like, why does it protrude so much? I've been losing so much weight and it just kind of sags there. Even if you haven't been working to lose weight and you have a belly that protrudes, take note of the shape of your back. I have always, since I was young and started lifting, when I was a teen in the gym, I've always been told that when you're lifting heavy using the posterior chain, so when you're doing a deadlift or Romanian deadlift, or you're doing really anything that uses the muscles on the back of your body, a bent row, anything like that, you kind of want to pull the back, the lower back into shape and not hyperflex it backwards. Like you're not trying to do this with your back, but you need to tighten the muscles in your back and hold them so they don't bend over and you get that sort of curved spine that you generally don't want to lift that way. At least as far as I've read. I've never seen any good science on allowing your back to curve like that. That's not good for lifting. Your muscles can't really work the way that they should, and your structure is not in its like most supportive position. But because of that, and because I have done in my life a lot of work on the muscles on the rear of my body and less work on things like abs and chest, I honestly think I've over strengthened my posterior chain muscles. And so probably not my hamstrings or my glutes, but my lower back and my back for sure is stronger than my chest and my abs. And that's kind of how it is for everybody, right? You can deadlift way more than you can bench press, for sure. But because of that, I always have a bit of a curve to my back. My butt is always kind of sticking out and my back is always kind of pulled in a bit. And because of that, because your body is one section with two fronts, or two sides, a front and a back, when your back pulls in, your front sticks out. So if you're standing in front of the mirror and you see yourself doing that, you notice you're doing that, try to think of your hips rolling forward. And it kind of like, as you do that, it feels like you're sucking in your abs, but I've noticed I can't really separate the two. I'm not trying to suck in my abs. It's just, as I roll my hips forward, my abs and my abdomen naturally pull in. And it's just like the muscles are tied together. Maybe they are, I'm not certain. But it straightens my back out and it also pulls my front in. So it's really that angle of my hips where I'm always pushing them back, kind of causing my butt and my tailbone to go out a bit, that's making my front protrude so much. And when I roll my hips forward, and this is difficult to do without me really focusing on it, it's not my natural, what was I just saying? It's not my natural posture. It's something I have to force myself into, but if I force myself into it, even while walking around, I can do this. I can make the mental note, roll your hips forward a bit. And I can feel my back goes in and my abs go in and my whole body becomes slimmer top to bottom from a side profile. So you could just have more of a belly sticking out than you really do because your hips are tilted back and your tailbone and your lower back is pulling back, which causes your stomach to stick out a bit. So that and the neck thing are both ways that you can sort of trick yourself when looking in the mirror into thinking that you have a worse shape to your body than you do. If you're slouching your neck and causing your neck to widen out, and you're not lifting your neck and your head up high, and you're not holding your face level at eye level, you don't need to stick your head out or anything like that, but like just having your head up and forward instead of like down and down, you're going to have a slimmer neck, you're going to have more of a jawline. Like I said, if you're taking a picture of something and you really wanted to adjust the way your jawline works, focus on closing your jaw and pushing your lower jaw slightly forward, but that's not something you would want to do all the time. You'd probably get irritated muscle pain in your face from doing that. And then with your body, if your abdomen feels like it protrudes a lot, just think about, do my hips roll backwards? And if they do, again, I don't necessarily know if that's a negative thing, if that's like going to have negative impacts on your body's functionality in a day-to-day way. But from a visibility, from like how it looks in the mirror, how your profile looks, if it looks like your belly is sticking out and your hips are rolled back, try rolling your hips under you a bit, rolling them forward a bit. I like to think, and this is just, I've never been in the military, but I've seen lots of images of the military. I've seen how like boot camp and training has been portrayed in films. I'm sure most of that's inaccurate, some of it is. But when you see somebody at attention, you would hear drill sergeants say in old movies, say things like suck in that gut, chest up, suck in your gut. And I really think what they're saying is stand with proper posture, right? And so your feet are roughly shoulder width apart, your toes slightly angled outward, your hips should be under you, not behind you. If you put your hips under you, you immediately notice you're standing a bit more upright and your stomach is a bit more pulled in. And then when you pull your shoulders back and put your hands down by your side or tuck your hands like this behind you, you'll notice that your chest naturally sticks out and your shoulders are a bit broader. So that's kind of like the at-rest military stance. Or I think that's at rest. I'm not sure. It might be at attention. But it's that thing. You're standing straight. Your legs are, a normal width apart. Your hands are tucked behind your back. Your shoulders are back and your chest is out because of that. And your shoulders are down, right? And then your abdomen is pulled in because your hips are pulled properly underneath you, creating this nice straight vertical line. If you stand in front of the mirror and do those things just for a second, like take 30 seconds and try this if you feel like you have a big, pudgy, protruding belly, you might notice immediately you have a better shape than you think you do. And it's just a lot of different postural things that are throwing it out of whack and out of shape. I don't know if there's a quick and easy way to resolve those. I've heard, leaning against a wall for 5 minutes a day and trying to make sure that your lower back and your shoulder blades are touching the wall by pulling your hips forward and holding that for 5 minutes. Can help correct this posture if you do that every day. And then there's like, really classic things like putting a book on your head and balancing it, but while holding your neck nice and straight up and sitting upright so the book stays right on top of your head. That's another thing that you're supposedly, should be able to do to correct your posture if you do it every day and train your muscles to stay that way. But these are just things that I've noticed while losing weight where for a moment I might think, well, it really doesn't look like I've lost much weight in my neck or my face. But then I go, oh, wait a minute, let me straighten my posture and adjust my neck a bit. And then I look in the mirror and I go, oh no, actually, there's a lot of weight loss there. It looks very different to me and to my wife and other people that have seen me in the last couple weeks. And a lot of that's just like glycogen and fluid leaving my face and what's the other word? Bloat, leaving your body when you cut things like soda out. But again, if these are things that have been bothering you and you've been trying to lose weight, or maybe you just haven't been trying to lose weight, but they do bother you still, try standing in front of a mirror and correcting these postural things and seeing if you like how the way you look. And then maybe you can try to be a little more mental or a little more mentally aware of these things when you're walking around doing them. When you're sitting in a chair, sit up straight, straighten your neck up, look forward. Don't do this because it's never going to look good. When you're walking around, think like, oh, should I tuck my hips in for a few minutes and see if I can manage that? If you're taking a picture, straighten your neck up and, look good and maybe do the stuff with your teeth and pull your hips in and, see what happens. Anyways, I've rambled enough about this. Just wanted to throw those out there in case you guys weren't aware of that. And like I said, I'm not going to demonstrate the hip thing, but look up hip tilt and how it has impact on your posture and how it can cause your stomach to look far more extended and bloated than it should because you're pressing it out by pulling your hips back. Anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.